Good morning, YouTubers, and welcome to Morning Coffee with Mike. Today is Tuesday. It is a gorgeous day today. It's morning. It's been morning for a while. It's 10:30. I'm off to get some coffee, and I want to thank all my Patreon supporters who bought me coffee today. Anyways, what do we got going on? All right, let's kick off with the markets right now. Oil's looking good. Not looking good. Oil's still sitting at $54 a barrel. Dipped below 53 when the market opened. Gold still sitting at $13.33 right now an ounce. No one in their right mind will sell a troy ounce of silver. No one will sell gold for under $1,300 right now, the way the markets are looking. And with a flatline American dollar, with a kind of a flattening American dollar right now, we are looking at a 69 cent Australian dollar, moving in between mid and high 69 cents. Canadian dollar sitting at 75 cents a dollar right now against the US. Right now the dollar is flatlining. The Trump tariffs with Mexico thing kind of worked out in favor, so you're going to start seeing a weakening Chinese dollar. Lots of Chinese investors selling their Chinese dollars, kind of trying to want to get out of the Chinese dollar. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Some of them still believe in the CCP and the CCP movement. What else? Lots going on in the markets. Okay, we got the Dow came out strong this morning, dipped below 23K. It was down 23 points last time I saw. Toronto TSX is doing good. Australian market is doing actually pretty strong. Closed really strong last night. I checked that out. But they're flatlining currency. If there's any movements in the American currency right now, it will bring the Australian dollar even further because they did slash rates. Now, the problem is that we're having right now in the markets is if economies are booming and the Australian economy is doing so well and this and that, and the Canadians are doing so well, why are they lowering rates? You're supposed to be raising rates when the economy is doing well. Why? Because we're not exporting enough to buy back the imports that we are supposedly selling. Whatever a country sells, it buys back. It doesn't buy back what it sells. It buys back for other imports, right? So I don't think Australia, Canada right now, and in the UK are sitting in positions where they are exporting more than what they're importing, right? So usually you want to export more and import less because obviously you're making it locally, right? Why does Canada and China have such a huge surplus with the United States? It's because Canada and China usually don't make things that China want. You know what I'm saying? They don't produce or fabricate things that China wants to buy. And that's a problem, right? So why aren't rates going up? Rates need to go up to a nice healthy levels. I say 5.5, 6.9, 7%, just to offset this historically low interest rates that we had, this party that we had. You know, economy's doing good, people are getting paid. It's about time to start raising rates and starting to collect on and moving this economy upwards and moving it forward, making our imports buying our imports for cheaper, but selling less exports. You know, it's a good way. You know, selling less, exporting a bit less because you're going to have a stronger dollar, right? But anyways, I don't know what the heck is going on right now. There's too much government play, and we're not letting these economies sit on autopilot, and that's the problem. That's the problem. We've gotten too much used to playing with people's futures. Back in the 80s, they would never imagine of putting interest rates to 0%. They would never fathom doing something like that, ever, because they know they're going to steal people's futures away for the next 20, 30 to 50 to 100 years now. How are we going to pay back these debts? That's the question. Now let's go into personal debt. I talked about personal debt yesterday. I talked about where personal debt's heading. And I talked about how personal debt is going to cripple, obviously, because the economy, because the people's, consumer confidence is the lowest it's been since 1975. So it's going to be a very interesting journey in seeing where things are going to go the next couple of quarters. Sydney, our price is going to go back up. No, Sydney's still going to have to retract I'm guessing another 16 quarters of fake growth, maybe 19 quarters of fake growth in Sydney. So a lot of this housing shit happened a lot earlier than people think. They think this housing problem started in Sydney and Vancouver in 2017. No, it didn't. That's when a lot of money started moving out of China, and that's when the laundering started to hit hard. But it started around 2010. If you do the math, you'll start seeing the statistics and where they roll. 2011 had a bit of a dip, but... Hi, can I get an extra large dark roast coffee with 1 cream?
Extra large dark roast 1 cream, that's everything?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to do some tacos today. Some churrascos. Hi. Yes. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, that's the deal right there. That's the deal right there. Too much going on, guys. Too much going on. Too much smoke and mirrors. So it started in 2010 is when it started to hit. Because the price of housing wasn't even nearly lined up to what wages were back in 2010. It was near. It was obviously better than it is now, but it was still kind of out of whack. And a lot of people that sat on the sidelines started realizing this, even in 2010, 2011, 2012, knew that property was overpriced. But nobody expected the smoke and mirrors. Nobody expected the government intervention. Nobody expected all this illegal movements, just all these illegal movements to try and get fresh blood in the market. Because once you don't get first-time buyers in the market, you can kiss everything goodbye, because there's no fresh blood moving into the market. There's no liquidity in the markets anymore. So it's starting to hurt, right? So that's become a huge problem. And people paying down credit card debt, a lot of that credit card debt doesn't register on the Canadian debt load, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of people with a lot of unsecured debt out there that a lot of people are redlining right now. They're pushing their motors to max. And there's still people upplaying it and driving around like they own the planet, Instead of people becoming more humble and appreciative to each other, looking at each other, saying hi to each other, people are becoming more and more negative. People are becoming more and more desperate and becoming more and more antisocial. I think being in debt, like at severe levels, is worse than obesity. It's worse than smoking, and it's worse than being in a bad marriage. It's worse than all of that. And I'm not trying to gloom and doom it. I want people to start, especially young people watching this channel, that are jumping on the bandwagon, that are getting their first credit card, people that are looking to start a future, get married, have a family, to start looking at your options. What can you afford? What is best? And now, it's gotten affordability issues right now. It's gotten so bad that tons of people are moving on boats right now. People are renting out tents in people's backyards because the affordability has been there. The jobs are there, but the affordability is not, and the jobs are there for the higher end jobs. And those are a lot of people living on boats. People that used to pay $3,000 to $4,000 a month for rent in their apartments. People can't afford to live anymore. And it's a stake through the heart for most people. Yep. I'm happy with my little business. I'm happy with my little show with you guys. I'm happy, because I'm in within my means. People need to start to come to grips, especially the ones that are in a bit of trouble right now, that a lot of people need credit counseling, not more credits. A lot of people, when they find themselves in a credit trouble, they start seeking credit counseling, and that's the problem. They start seeking more credit. So then you start seeing all these inquiries start showing up on their credit scores. They start seeing all these inquiries of shotgun inquiries of more credit cards. Man, heck, you know what? I might as well throw a car on there too, eh? They'll approve me for a car. They always approve me for a car. Make me feel better. But yeah, it's starting to hit hard. It's hit close to hope. It's affecting families. It's affecting children, and that's the problem. You know, when I picked up my place, I made sure I bought it within my means. You know, made sure the property tax was affordable, made sure that the utilities were affordable. Yet, even though I don't have a mortgage or rent, I still make sure that I'm in a position where I know I could service these debts, right? Unexpected debt. Last night, unexpected debt. Had a water leak in the gym in my house. There was a leak in the ceiling, and we cut a hole. I called the plumber on the spot. Hey, bud, what are you doing? Nothing, man. I'm just watching the Raptors game. All right, come over when they're done. I need you to fix something. There's a leaking T. It's a T. It's leaking for the hot water pipe. No problem, Mike. I'll be there soon. 5 minutes after the Raptors game, he showed up at my door. Saw it, cut it, installed the UT, put the new crimps, updated a few things that needed to be updated in that section. Charged me $75 right off the top. Cheap like rice. $75 for a plumbing job. You see what I'm saying? It's living within your means and knowing that when there's an emergency, you are not up the creek without a paddle. Right? So there's lots going on right now. Markets are all over the place right now. Well, I'm going to take that right back because I didn't mean that. Markets are flatlining right now, kind of seeing where the Mexican tariffs are that haven't been, well, the deal that Mexico went ahead with the United States, if it's going to affect the Chinese economy. Everything affects everything. There's a ripple everything. When you throw a rock in the pond, guess what? It ripples. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for being here with me this morning for morning coffee with Mike. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Also, I would like to thank everyone on Patreon that's bought me a coffee today. I really appreciate that. Don't forget to hit me up on Patreon. I'm on minds.com. I'm slowly fizzling off Facebook. I got a thing on Facebook yesterday saying, by the way, you haven't posted in 10 weeks. I'm like, no, I just go on there for my little store here and post on Facebook and then go from there. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Comment below and let me know what you guys think.